Okay, today was a pretty big day, and it also was a very interesting day. If you want to hear me talk more about the interesting part, the paid season pass part that I ranted about, I uploaded that earlier today. There is some controversy around that. We will talk about that in today's video. We're going to go over everything that they talked about for FC 25 in today's video. There is actually quite a few good things that I'm actually pretty excited for. Of course, there are some things where you're just like, what? But we'll get into all of that. If you guys would like to buy coins, you can go to mmoxp.com. The link is in the description. You can use my code JFC at checkout for a 5% discount. If you clicked on this video, thank you for being here. Let's begin with the FUT accountant tweet, because I thought this was kind of interesting. So we talked about the paid season pass. He says, as someone who went to Vancouver and learned about this game, EA said nothing about an extra paid season pass. Well, I can't say I'm surprised, and also I can't say I feel any sympathy towards this whatsoever, because I'm assuming he's insinuating here that they did not tell him this would be in the game. I'm assuming that he's not insinuating that this won't be in the game, because FUT Sheriff is like the #1 reliable source for leaks, right? Except for the R9 leak in 22, which if you know about that, you're an OG. But I think he's insinuating that they just did not tell him about the extra paid season pass. I can't really, once again here, feel bad for anybody who went to Vancouver and they didn't tell you about it, because what do you fucking expect at this point? Do you think they're gonna babble to you about a change that people probably wouldn't like? I don't think they're gonna tell you about that. But there is also this here, so this does help a little bit in my opinion. You can apparently use coins as well to unlock the season pass, which obviously is good that you don't have to spend money, right? I like that. But at the same time here, let's not get it fucked up. They are probably going to make the season passes worse, the free season passes that is. We've probably seen the best of them, and that's this year. We've probably seen the best of the free season passes now. I'm assuming the things that will be like that Futty's Erling Haaland and that Ferenc Puskás is going to be in the paid season pass now. But yeah, I mean, I guess there's no real way to know for sure until we see it, obviously, but I do like the fact that you can spend coins at least. I still think this is a be careful what you wish for feature. I saw Nepenthes tweeted out saying, so long as the premium pass will be unlockable with coins too, I'm all for it. To me, it's kind of a be careful what you wish for situation. I am worried that, you know, more things get locked behind a paywall. We already don't have that much for free anymore. In fact, I mean, nothing. The game isn't free, so nothing's for free, actually. But I don't know. Maybe I'm worried about nothing, but I don't actually not take that back. I'm definitely not worried about nothing. It's really just, will this feature actually end up being good? Or maybe it'll be better. Maybe we'll even get better cards in the season pass, because there's a comment in this video we will talk about that I think is very intriguing, and we'll get into that. But there's this Nepenthes tweet here that I also want to talk about, the end of all the features that we see. So okay, there's a lot of stuff to get through, but the biggest news that we got first today, or one of the biggest sets of news that we actually know for sure that we're going to like, is this: we can complete more than one evo at a time in FC 25. That is a guaranteed now confirmation. I mean, also did get word, I think it was, yeah, right here, do multiple at the same time, less requirements overall, and you can upgrade older evos more often. Apparently they're going to try and work on that. To me, one of the saving graces of next year's game can be this. Evolutions have been the only time I've been excited to hop on this game for the last like month, honestly. If there's a new Evo that I want to see who can fit in. So I just think that this is such a foundation to me to make next year's game actually enjoyable. These three changes are obviously very, very nice. Keep moving on. 4, 3, 2, 1. It is removed. Straight up removed in FC 25. So, you know, I guess their solution to this problem of everybody using the same formation was, fuck it, let's get rid of it entirely. Talked about this a little bit earlier today in the video I made, but it looks like to me the solution that they ended up with here was, well, we could fix fundamentally how the gameplay plays on the next gen version, or we could just remove the formation. And they just decided to do that. Now, the FCIQ feature, which we'll talk about more in one sec, has also removed these positions. No right wing back, left wing back, or center forward in next year's game. It's all player roles based. And here are all the player roles here. Have a look at them. You got goalkeeper / sweeper keeper. Okay, right back and left back, you got full back, false back, wing back, and attacking wing back. So instead of having it be position based, it is very much just like player instruction based. And once again, if implemented well enough, to me, I like this a lot. I don't know how well it's going to be implemented, but I like being able to be like, hey, I actually want this card to be a box-to-box midfielder and not his medium-high work rates that he has. You can just make him box-to-box, and then work rates are now no longer a thing. So I'm happy about a lot of these changes here, especially because we now have false backs as well. Like, that's such a huge part of real-life football. But then there was this news here. FCIQ has 3 foundations that will determine a player's actions in defense and offense, player roles, team tactics, and smart tactics. All right, I don't know what to say about that. Smart tactics is apparently real-time tactical suggestions. So like they will, I guess, make suggestions for you if you want to change to certain things. And then we heard that custom tactics can be shared via QR code and can be copied. So we saw that leak a little bit earlier, I think last week. But QR code is interesting, and I don't know. The player roles thing is very strange to me. You have a role a player can play in the position. Okay. Role plus player accomplished in position using real world data. Role plus plus world class in position. Every player has at least 1 role plus. Only a few will have a role plus plus. I don't know what the fuck does this mean? I mean, I don't know. Is this a changed chem system? Yeah, it sounds like a changed chem system. Like their stats get worse if you play them not in their position plus. I don't know. I hope not. If that's the case, that's fucking stupid. Or it means nothing and it just like helps you figure out what positions they are in. I wish I could tell you. If this is like a fundamental feature next year, why complicate things? I hope it's not. And to be honest with you, I don't know why you would make things more complicated than they already are with adding more and more tactics into the game. Believe it or not, people don't clamor for like, oh, we need more in-depth everything when we could just have fun stuff. People just want fun stuff, and I feel like a lot of the time they just forget that. We also got word that friendlies matchmaking next year, friendlies and rivals matchmaking will be decoupled in FC25 Ultimate Team. Friendlies will be a more fun place, especially for completing objectives. There will not be the rivals divisions involved in friendlies matchmaking. That's a fantastic change to me. That's why I said as well, the changes we saw today that we will talk about here in a second aren't even like big changes in terms of us FUT users. We don't really care about a lot of stuff that came out today. So we could still see a lot more bigger changes coming out in the next, month or two now. To give EA a fair shake at it here. Okay, so we have 6 new goalkeeper playstyles. Goalkeepers will have playstyle pluses now. Apparently that has changed this year. And goalkeeper movement will indeed be nerfed. Hallelujah. I just don't even think it should be in the game, to be honest with you. People claim it ups the skill gap, which I guess it technically does. There's another like mechanic added in for some strategy, but if the mechanic sucks ass, then it sucks. I don't care if it ups the skill gap at all. I just think the mechanic blows, so I don't want it in the game personally. But we also got this. Exchange SBCs will indeed be a part of FC25, even with the duplicate storage. They will not be available from the start of the year, but throughout the year, which I think that's very nice as well to keep that in the game, despite we now know it's 100 spaces for duplicate storage. So 100 duplicate storage spaces plus exchange SBCs. That's pretty nice. I actually like that change too. So I wanted to talk about the FIFA Ultimate Team changes first, right? Because of the fact that that's what we care about in this channel mostly, but we'll talk about other changes too here. And I want to talk about this one first because I'm actually very excited for this change. There will be more face scans than ever before. EA uses a new AI tool to create face scans of players who previously did not have any face scan. It's a machine learning model and it will improve throughout the year, and it will be a part of clubs too. And there's also this news that youth players now look more like men or boys of their age and will grow older over time, get taller, and gain facial hair, etc., from Fraud Zone himself. If you're a career mode player, this is actually a massive change because now your 15-year-old will not have a beard, or your 30-year-old won't look like a 16-year-old anymore. So that's actually, I mean, that is a really cool change, especially with players that possibly you're in a career mode with, I don't know, a League 2 team, and they now, a lot of them, or some of them, have faces resembling themselves. I think that's a cool idea too. So it's one of those things with AI that's like a cool addition to the game, but I feel like I'm worried that they shoehorned it in everywhere. It's like, hey, we have AI tactics. Learn what your opponent's doing. Just bullshit like that. And more news as well. Evos you can do across any game mode, and they also will never expire. So that is a really cool change. Also, that if you unlock it at least during a certain time, you can always finish it at any time. I'm assuming when they come out, there's going to be an expiration date on there, but if you manage to put a card into an evolution, it will then never expire. So that I think is a very cool change. I like that. And they also are apparently all Rush, Squad Battles, D-Rivals, and Champions eligible, and there's no specific game modes needed for any of them. So that's also a lovely change, I think, with with evolutions. We got this news as well. Oops, you will not receive the win if an opponent quits when drawing an EA Sports FC 25 Ultimate Team. Biggest L of the day. Not surprised to hear this news whatsoever. I told you I don't think this will ever exist. I don't think this will exist in FIFA 30. In FC, oh god, FC 30. I don't think it will exist. I don't think it's going to. Next up, the FUT and Club season passes are now being combined into one overarching pass that you'll earn progress in no matter which mode you spend more time in. You'll no longer have to prioritize playing one mode more than other just to earn rewards. So apparently, I think we have two separate season passes here. We have an overarching all game modes, like catalog type season pass in previous years, and we also have a FUT season pass. I think we have two different ones. I think that's kind of what the deal is here. When you hear season pass, just know that I think there's two of them. One's in FUT, and then one's kind of overarching across many different game modes. Also, the season pass does include career mode as well in there. It's combined across all three modes, just career mode just not mentioned there. And the last FUT feature we know about so far is just the rush game mode, where apparently you can play 5-on-5. You pick one player, you can play with your friends. We've talked about it before, but this article basically says that you can complete all different types of things on there. You can earn XP, do evolutions, earn coins, get rewards. It's just a different type of game mode, basically. But I guess if you want to give EA some credit, this is probably the most FUT news we've seen immediately off rip before we even get like the FUT deep dive. This is actually more than I would even expected to see at this time, so I will give them some credit for that. I still, of course, I still think they do a way better job of, especially after this last disaster year they had, which I don't think they view as a disaster necessarily, so maybe it's just me, but I still think they need to kind of do a better job promoting, and I feel like the things they promote are like things people just don't even give a shit about, a la FCIQ. Like, who gives a fuck about FCIQ? Does anybody actually care about that? That's like one of the main things here. And here you can now play as your youth academy in career mode. I mean, I love that change. I know it's only 5v5 to test them out. I still think we honestly need an actual youth league, almost like the Youth Premier League. I talked about that I think yesterday or 2 days ago, but that's still a nice change. I like being able to at least play with your youth academy players. That's a huge change. People love that change. I don't get why that's not more of a selling point. But their marketing sucks ass right now. Like, why are you promoting some bullshit when you have actually nice features that just dug in here? Career mode as well keeps getting updates. We have a social media tab now where you can kind of see tweets going on. This is where Fabrizio Romano comes in. He even teased that he's in the game next year. I'm showing you FUT Zone, by the way, here, Fraud Zone, only because he has a great showcase of all the new features. These are not like leaked features from him, by the way. These have all been confirmed already by other people. So these are not Fraud Zone sources saying this stuff. Keep that in mind. We also have still the live start points in career mode also. We talked about that a little bit yesterday. There's 11 leagues you can start after a specific match week. So in real life, after I think, you know, the 8th week in the Premier League, you can say you can start your career mode on the 8th week. I think that's a fantastic feature also, by the way. It keeps your stats as well in there, like the golden boot race it says here. So another very cool feature. I like that a lot. And the Ultimate Edition pre-order bonuses here, there's a couple things to talk about, I guess. So the release date, September 20th. Okay, that's now confirmed, the official release date there. The first evolutions leaked already, I guess. It says there will be an evo to select an 82 or less striker of your choice and improve their overall rating with Power Shot Plus. So this says apparently it's like just an 82 or less player, which that could be cool if we just start to see restrictions of like, hey, anybody lower than this, you can upgrade. That would be awesome. It confirms their Power Shot Plus. We have 250,000 clubs coins. Another, I guess, currency system. More currency for us. Great. That can only mean great things, I suppose. 3 icons in your player career. Start your player career with Beckham, Zidane, or Ronaldo. R9, that is. And I think that's like all. You know, get FIFA points as well there, of course. Doubled rush points playing with friends. I don't even know what rush points are. An FC Hub Season 1 head start, of course, because money. Yeah, that's the pre-order bonuses. And is anything on there telling you, hey, you have to pre-order this shit? Listen, I'm not gonna tell you to spend your money here, but if I were you, I don't know if this would convince me to pre-order the game after I didn't plan on it. I'll tell you that much. And some really nice clubs changes too. There's a clubhouse replacing the static menu now. Relegation matches are back. Third playstyle plus finally achievable. Shortcut menu similar to Ultimate Team, and you can play Rush there as well. Again, they're really trying to promote Rush here. I don't even know if that'll be a fun mode. Maybe it'll be great and awesome, but I don't really think it's going to be. But there are some good changes here. That's kind of the thing, is that they just chose weird, like they're promoting Rush so hard, and there's other nice changes that we know about. I don't understand that at all. And also, the bench size has increased, even in Ultimate Team, I believe. It is increased to 9 players, but you only have a certain amount of sub windows also. So that's kind of, you know, an interesting aspect there. But yeah, I guess I don't really new features or any more new features to talk about here with FC25. I might have missed something. We'll talk about it in tomorrow's video, but this Net 2 is kind of controversial. Let's talk about it. I think it's time to talk about the fact fact that it's actually okay to enjoy FC24, to be excited to pre-order FC25, and to not be scolded by people if the way this game is in line with your values of entertainment. It's okay to not like it too, but we've got lost somewhere with it. And drink every time I say this, but I think there's some truth in this. I don't agree with the whole sentiment though. Scrolling down, he's replying to FUT, who says he's, he was a sweat before, now he's a casual. He says, yeah, he really likes the game as a casual. Nep says, we all play this game too much and it loses the magic because of it. I just don't know if I really agree with that. I think that if they made a better game, it just wouldn't lose that magic. I think maybe you could say to a certain extent, if you play a game for 14 hours a day for 6 months, you'd probably start to get sick of it and it would lose that magic. But we've had FIFAs in the past that have not been like this. We've played them more often. We've enjoyed them more. So once again, there's some truth in that. But also at the same time, if you made a better game, I don't think it would be to the same level at all. And what I disagree with a little bit is to be excited to pre-order it. I don't know why you'd be excited to pre-order the game, I guess. But we can't just sit here and say, once again, there's no redeemable qualities about this game or things we're excited about next game. There's things I'm excited about next game. There can be nuance to this, and obviously not everything is black and white. But I also want to kind of talk about other creators right now quickly. Remember what happened to Boycott EA? Remember we had a compromise? Obviously, I'm not big enough to make a difference here, so like, it doesn't really matter. But remember that everybody started complaining? A bunch of creators started complaining, saying, this is my job, I can't do anything about it, but like, let's stop encouraging microtransactions. We had hashtag boycott EA all over the place. You're not seeing that anymore, are you? And you're seeing people fly into Vancouver just like normal. Doesn't seem like you're pushing for change at all. It seems that you're quite comfortable with how things are when it comes down to it. Because to me, there's a big difference between you enjoying some parts of this game and even you buying the game and playing it for 12 months basically, and going to Vancouver and talking to them about it and then getting early access and allowing that to happen, because that just gives you an inherent bias. It's going to immediately give you a bias to at least a little bit, a certain extent. You're going to have a slight bias there because they flew you out, and now when FC25 drops, you will have the content first. You're going to have that content first. Your videos are going to probably do very well because of that, which is just fine. You can, that's just fine, but let's not act like the hashtag boycott EA thing you were doing fucking jack shit for, because you weren't. I hate to be that guy, but let's not act like we were doing anything then. If you were tweeting out hashtag boycott EA or anything talking about the topic at all, and you went to Vancouver, I don't know what to say to you. And Witcher does say that the deep dives are going to be coming very soon, and he says, you won't believe your eyes. Okay, maybe because it's going to be the exact same as FC24, perhaps. I'm not sure. And also, I'm not going to lie to you. This is some fantastic news, boys. Dynamic mascots are coming. We had mascots last year that just kind of stood still. This year, we have real ones. They are not static, sorry. They're dynamic and they do move. You know what? This is actually a W change. Here's Ten Hog talking to Fred the Red. And you know what? W change. Thank you, EA. And here's what they mean by the cranium system. It's the new AI faces without scanning them. So this is what it looks like in College Football 25. They obviously couldn't get thousands upon thousands of player likenesses into the game in time. So what they did was add the same AI feature, and it looks very similar to the players in real life, right? So yes, it's still a generic face, but it looks way more like them, and it's supposed to only get better as time goes on. So maybe it's gonna be in a couple of years where it's like indistinguishable. So hey, believe it or not, we do have FUTties, and FC24 does still exist, guys. I don't know if you knew that or not. And he does say we will have FUTties in packs again like last year, and it's not only via SBC. So we'll have many SBCs, but we'll also have FUTties in packs starting Friday, and we have no leaks at all yet for the team. So we're waiting on that. I'm sure we'll talk about that tomorrow when we hear more. Today was kind of the FC25 day. I just say, for one, whenever I read someone's comment and I see Algo comment, I just massive W. Thank you for helping me out, because I think the video, I know it's gonna get demonetized. I don't actually think it has yet, which is surprising, but I do think it's going to. I swore so much in that video that it's going to. Not to act like it's a pity party. I make that choice myself, but I want to try and keep it authentic, and maybe I shouldn't, but I do want to try and do that. Mickey, hey, can anyone help me? How did he get that 93 Cryzam? I'd love to try him out for fun. You unfortunately cannot get him anymore. I did the 99 shooting evolution at the time. I think it was FUT birthday, I want to say. I did a glitched one, so it was like better actually than you could even get. And that one now fit into this next one, this new FUTties one. So that card's like impossible to get now. It's very, very rare, but that's why I love evolutions. I wish you could get him, but you unfortunately can't. That's why I love evolutions though. A random player like that is now a legend for me. I'm going to use for probably 500 games this year. That's just such an incredible feature. So game changing. And Alan says, oh, good. Inception just dropped 100 depth 4-3-2-1 tactic. I'm off to find my nearest bridge. I might be too. And then this was a pretty interesting argument. You know, Milan says, begged for this, paid pass for years. Happy it's here. I'd be happy to pay 10 bucks to get some good stuff and see what I get with my money. And I said, that's what's funny is when you look at it that way, it actually is better. But that shows how bad we have it and people do not even realize. I said this yesterday, or yeah, yesterday, last video when I ranted about it. It's like, actually the paid season pass is low-key not even that bad. In fact, you could argue it's better than what we've been having, all things considered, when you talk about the gambling that's been in this game. But for some reason, we just don't we just don't care about the fact that you have to spend thousands to get your favorite players. Like, we just, I guess, don't care enough about that. But then like $10 is too much now, which is funny to think about. So I kind of agree with you, but also you know, it's still, I don't think it should be in the game. But then Jeremy says, if you've been begging for more paid content, you are the root of the problem. I also agree with that too. So am I fence sitting? Is my ass hurt from fence sitting? Possibly. But I just like to see both sides to things. And let me know what you guys think in the comments. Am I too harsh on things? Am I too easy on things? Like, I'm aware I could be as well. But I might make a video soon talking about just more YouTube drama stuff, because I cannot believe I know I'm not the perfect and most moral and fucking Gandhi moral wise cat. I'm not claiming I am, but it's hilarious seeing boycott EA. Oops, I went to Vancouver.